Yeah, hi everybody. Ryan back here with you again, coming to you from the road. Out here at the Loves, just south of Texarkana on US 59. Actually headed down to South Texas this weekend. It's the Sunday after Christmas. What is it? The 27th, I believe it's today. Picked up a load yesterday down in Washington, West Virginia, down by right there by Parkersburg, West Virginia. Um, yeah, this isn't a window load like I normally do out of Parkersburg, but it's some type of other polymer stuff or whatever going down to McAllen, Texas, all the way down there at the very bottom, down by Brownsville. So I'm not a big fan of Texas. I don't go down there a lot. I usually don't have very good luck coming out of there, and I'm just not a fan of the drivers and all that, and the bigger cities, Dallas, Houston, Fort, all that stuff. So I try to avoid it. But I always run the week between Christmas and New Year's is usually one of the hottest weeks to run. So I tell guys, I would not stay at home this week. Usually right after the first of the year, January, everything's going to drop off. I mean, you're going to have all the trucks getting back out on the road. There's not a lot moving because of the holiday rush and all that, so not as much freight moving. So I always tell people, come home for Christmas, maybe a couple days before. Then I got lucky. I got this load. I picked it up at 7 a.m. on the 26th, the morning after Christmas. So it worked out. I was home for about a week and a half before Christmas. Then I got right back out. I had to drive through a snowstorm that we had up there in Ohio, and it was kind of a perfect storm scenario because obviously most of the highway workers and all that were off for Christmas, so all the roads were untouched. So I had to run 180 miles to go up and grab my trailer and all the way back down to Parkersburg or Washington, West Virginia, with an empty trailer, and it was a little nasty, I guess you could say, but we got through it. The truck needs a good bath though. She's all covered in salt, so hopefully get that done. But it's a lot of change of scenery down here. It's supposed to be almost 70 degrees down here today. But anyways, getting back to that week, like I said, there's not a lot of trucks as last night, the night before. Very little trucks on the road. This place is almost empty, which these truck stops, I mean, even coming in here this morning, a lot of the truck stops I went by last night, or the last two nights, even at night, when they're packed full and there's usually guys pontooned everywhere. Most of the truck stops were 50 to 75% empty from what I've seen. So there's not a lot of trucks on the road. And that's what drives the prices out here is volume. I mean, if there's still freight that needs to move, and there ain't no trucks on the road, and they're going to pay a premium. So this load that I got, it just happened to pop up on my search, and I have all the western states in my load alerts. As I tell you guys, I work strictly off. I set up a search for each load that I'm looking for, and I work strictly off those email alerts. When I get that email, I'm getting an email as soon as that load's posted, and I make a decision in about 30 seconds. Do I want to call about this? Am I interested? I mean, what's I'm really quick with it, and I'm usually looking, a week to 2 weeks out ahead of time. So this load popped up, like I said, going from up by Parkersburg, West Virginia, down to McAllen, Texas, about 1,533 miles, I think, to have built on there. This load pays almost $7,200 gross. It's like $470 a mile. So I'm getting to the truck, well over $3 a mile. And that's just not typical, going down to Texas. But like I said, it picked up the day after Christmas, and it had to be down here Monday. So I mean, last night I ran like 750 miles, and I'm down. I ran a little bit. I ran till about noon there on Saturday. I ran over by Lexington there at the or Mount Sterling over there at the Pilot Park there. So I did about 750 last night, and I'm down to like 6:30 tonight. So it'll be an easy 8.5 hour night or so. Running down there, go straight in the morning, deliver that. Then I got another load, actually going up to, I guess paying close to $3 a mile, light load, 8,000 pounds, going up by Omaha. And if you watched my last video on the maintenance side, I put that exhaust bellows in, and now my truck is like on a regen frenzy. It just wants a regen. I just did a force regen on it for 3 hours here. So it's probably, now that it's getting full exhaust flow through the DPF and SCR and everything, I don't know what to do. So there's a possibility. I think I'm probably going to head to the house after this Omaha load, see what I can get out of there, or may possibly head back empty if I have to get back in there, because I'm probably might have to clean my DPF filter, looking at throwing a new DPF filter, the center unit in. So, well, more to follow on that. But back to these loads. To really be successful and hit a stride out here, I mean, you got to look for opportunities that I always say, you know, think what the normal guy would do and do the opposite. That's why I said I drive at night. You know, most guys, like I said, like, you know, and I'll do loads like people want, like the window loads, the cabinet loads. I don't mind. I like getting back there and doing a workout. And a lot of guys won't do that. And those loads I have out that I do out of Parkersburg a lot, West Virginia, those window loads, they're tight. They're really tight. Sometimes you might have to do 5 stops in one day, and I get them done pretty quick. I mean, usually I can do West Virginia all the way up, you know, down through Texas, have some stops in Texas, you know, all the way into Arizona, then all the way up California, and sometimes all the way up to Sacramento, then sometimes over to Reno. And I can usually pick that up on a Friday night, and I can wrap it up on a Wednesday. You know, and the agent that I work with respects that. He knows that I work hard and I get them done, and he'll call me with offers. I mean, a lot of times I don't even have to call them. They'll just call me and say, I got this load, you want it. And it works out really well for me. And like I said, they pay really well. Again, but like I said, you know, a lot of guys, they're going to say, okay, I'm going to stay at home between Christmas and New Year's. There's nothing going on, whatever. But this is actually, like I said, one of the best weeks to be hitting it hard out here, because that's what everybody's thinking. I'm going to stay home. So as you know, as I can see out here right now, there's not a lot of trucks on the road, and there's still stuff that's got to move. There's still people buying, you know, making their Christmas dinners and all that stuff. I mean, stuff's still got to be moved and get into stores and all that. So there's still a lot of stuff going on. Now, like I said, after the 1st of January, everybody's going to be back on the road, and everybody and all the shippers and everything, they know that. You know, they can get on DATs, they can see the little color-coded deals where all the trucks are at and all that, and you know, the load count, the truck count, and all that stuff, and then the rates go down. And like I said, you're going to see probably a 2 to 4 week slump here at the beginning of the year, where the rates are going to drop and everything. And you know, that's why I try to hit it hard up until the end of the year. And then, you know, typically in the past, we always like to take our vacations to go somewhere, like, you know, a week and a half, 2 week vacation in January, because it's not, Ohio's not a very, Northeast Ohio ain't a very nice place to be in January. So it's nice to go somewhere warm, but obviously with all the nonsense this year, we decided to cancel our plans, because we were planning on going down to Peru. I wanted to see Machu Picchu and all that, and I've never been to South America. I mean, I've been in the Navy, I've been to Europe, Asia, Central America, and Australia and all that, and about 42 countries, but I haven't got down to South America, so I was kind of looking forward to that. But we were going to take our 4-year-old with us, and I talked to the airline and all that, and they were going to require him to wear a mask and all of us, and like, I'm not wearing a mask for 11, 13 hours on flights and being treated like a prisoner, so just cancel it and forget it, and we'll regroup next year and do something, I guess. We'll see. But anyways, like I said, you got to look for those, seek out those opportunities, and kind of think a little bit different than what people, I mean, think of what everybody else would do, then kind of look at it backwards. And sometimes you can find opportunities that way. Other than that, that's what we got going on right now. So I'm going to get this load tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get this out to you guys before the week. So maybe if you guys are sitting at home, I mean, which I think probably a lot of people I know are, you might be able to get on the board. If you ain't doing nothing, you might be able to find a good load on the board or something. So yeah, it's not very often I get almost a $5 a mile load that's over 1,500 miles. I mean, I see it on YouTube all the time. These guys are like, oh, $5 a mile loads, and they're on there, the video or whatever, and it's like 200 miles. And I'm kind of like, what's the point in that? Because I mean, about any load, unless, I mean, sometimes I'll get local stuff that I just pop up, or an agent will call me when I'm sitting at the house, and they'll offer me $500 or $700 to go up to Cleveland and take something down to Canton. You know, I mean, it's still going to take most of the day, but I can get it done in a day and I can be back home. But a lot of these loads, like I'm saying, like a $5 a mile load, and it's, you know, 200 miles or 250, You're probably going to pick it up today, then you're going to deliver it tomorrow, then you're not going to really know what to do. So then that's going to put you, you don't know if you can book anything. I mean, chances are. So then that puts you out to the next day. So it's like you've already got 2.5 days, 2 to 2.5 days in this thing, and it's basically paying gross $1,000. So that puts you with the surcharge and all that, maybe roughly 675-ish. And then you got two or 2.5 days in that thing. So I mean, it just, I look at, when I do my searches, I got a mileage rate, my minimum mileage, which, I've calculated with my cost and what I'm willing to work for. Then two, I have a minimum revenue, and usually I don't leave the house, I usually have $4,000 or $5,000 minimum on those loads to come out of the house. And typically, I mean, for longest time, I guess, since all summer up until now, I mean, I really haven't left the house for much under 6,000 or 7,000 on my first load out. Then, I've been getting pretty good. Like the last trip I did out, I didn't do a settlement update or anything, but that was actually the most I've ever gotten paid on one settlement, because I had an out West Coast load, window load that paid $8,200 gross out, and then I had an $8,900 Frito-Lay load that came out of Fresno, California, over to Aberdeen, Maryland, and I had both those on one paycheck. I mean, it was, I don't know, 9 days or so in the loads, so it really wasn't like 1 week, but they just fell to where I got a really big, really like the biggest settlement I've ever gotten, because it had, they said, over $17,000 of gross revenue on it. So it was a pretty good settlement. So might be able to go over that here sometime soon. So anyways, so I'll shut up and get on with life here. And I hope everybody had a good Christmas and all that. And we'll see what happens here on the New Year. Hopefully that goes well for everybody. And like I said, if you're sitting at home, you might want to check that load board out and see if there might be some hot opportunities on there. Because like I said, there's not a lot of trucks out here that I see. And, a lot of guys are going to stay home till after the New Year and all that. So if you can, take advantage and get it while you can, because like I said, after the first of the year, I know the last few years I've been doing this, it typically drops off there in January. Other than that, with the farm side, I bought 2 more tractors. One of them is a D17 diesel. It's not running, engine stuck, so I'm going to get it home and do a little project deal on that. Then I was watching on Auction Time on an online website where you can bid on equipment and stuff of trucks, and they got everything on there. But I was actually watching another, in case I didn't get that one that wasn't running, I was watching another sale over in Wisconsin, and I ended up getting the first one though. It's coming out of South Dakota, but I was watching this sale in Wisconsin, and I was gonna get on there and see what the one tractor the other one, my second choice, what it was gonna sell for. And it went for a little bit higher than what I wanted to pay, but then there was another tractor that came up after that, and I was just said, what the hell, I'll watch the sale and see what happens. And it started going for like $600, so I threw a $700 bid in, and I ended up getting it, another Alice Chalmers WD, but it's got a loader on it running and everything. So I think I'm just going to bring it back and, resell it, maybe make a little bit, pay for the other one, and getting them back home and all that. So more to follow on that here in the next couple weeks when we get home. Probably doing a little project series on that diesel, that D17 diesel, getting it running, and be using it this summer hopefully. So again, we said we appreciate all the support and views, questions, and all that. And comments as well. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Hit the bell for the updates, like the video, and like I said, stay tuned for more trucking videos, owner-operator stuff, more maintenance stuff. I mean, probably got some more stuff coming up on maintenance here pretty soon with this DPF thing. I mean, be good for you guys for the videos, but not good for my bank account. But other than that, like I said, we'll see y'all next time. So.